So Alexandra, here we are. This is the Sea of Galilee. We're at this lake because this is the most significant source of surface fresh water that we have. For this region, when we're talking about Israel, Palestine and Jordan, this is it. This is the only significant body of water that we have.
Like they're using it pretty heavily, huh?
This is a lake that is heavily utilized by Israel. Israel pumps water out of this lake into what is called the national water carrier. And the national water carrier is Israel's primary water infrastructure for bringing water from this part of the country, the northern area where we have most of the rainfall, to the very dry south. And what you can see here, we're at a pier where you can see very dramatically how rapidly the water level has receded. If we look over here, for example, this area, this pier where the tires are, right? So this is where the boats would dock. And what they've had to do is literally bring in these floating barges, in a sense, to provide a place for the boats to dock as the water has receded. And
this is a place where that scarcity of water is called into sharp contrast. I mean, some of the landscapes we've seen here are deserts. This is sort of an oasis in a way because of the lack of water in this region.
Absolutely, it's an oasis, and it's an oasis that if we don't think about how to effectively manage it in the long term and begin to bring into management the concepts of sustainability, then all of the green that you see around here and this beautiful landscape will be lost. And this is a lake that resonates to millions and millions of people throughout the world. You know, this is the lake that appears in the Bible. It's important for millions of Christians and for Jews and for Muslims. So we also have a responsibility to people beyond the region, because in a sense it's their lake too. So we have to take responsibility. We have to see the bigger picture.
So Clive, from where we are today, what are the chances that this water resource can actually bring people together through cooperation to not only manage it effectively for the needs of people today, but also for future generations?
Well, you know, Alexandra, I think if anything, it's the water that is able to bring people together. And even though we've had here in this region a legacy of unilateral development, each country trying to take as much as it can, where there is an ability for dialogue, it's about water. That's one of the things that we try to do at the Arava Institute. We understand that the environment and water is, in a sense, a foundation on which we can build upon in terms of bringing people together and developing dialogue, simply because we are facing a water crisis with very limited opportunities in terms of thinking about more water, because we don't have more water. We simply do not have more water.
You have a growing population, you have growing food resources needed, and you have climate change. You have a lot of pressures on the available water resources that are already stressed.
Absolutely, they're stressed, and remember, this is it. We don't have anything else. We have to think not only about how do we meet our immediate needs, but the long term, because if there's no water, there's no future. And we live in a very small region with limited water, but with growing populations. And unfortunately, it's a region of conflict, and we have to be able to say water that is scarce can actually be the catalyst for peaceful cooperation.